Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Hold My Purse, the podcast where we drop all the emotional baggage, prioritize ourselves, and walk through life with intention. I'm your host, Rho, and today we have my amazing dear friend, Cesar, here with us, fellow psycho coach and just overall spiritual soul. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Excited.
So, just a little backstory, y'all, on how we met, right? So I'll never forget going to spin class. It's like, I can't remember if it was a Tuesday or Thursday, but it had to be one of those days, right? Go to spin class in the hallway at 24 Hour Fitness waiting, and I saw you and Angel. I spoke, I was like, hello. Angel was like, hello. You were kind of shy.
A little bit.
A little shy. And I was like, oh, okay. Fast forward maybe a month or two. We were in 24 Hour Fitness psycho coaching session, stuck in a room for like 8 or 9 hours. I had to know a lot about y'all. And
it was a long day, 9 hours, a lot of reading, talking, vibing.
Yeah, a whole vibe. And we're now spin coaches, so we lead on Thursday nights sometimes, or whenever Coach Leslie is, not available on vacation or whatever, and we get to spin. But we coach together. We do usually open. I'll do the middle, and then Angel will do the end. But it's like this friendship, and I'm like, I don't think I can coach without them.
I feel the same way. Yeah, like I don't know if I can handle the whole class without my.
Yeah, even when Angel led that one day, we were off to the side. It was his birthday. He led, and we were off to the side. But I say all that to say that I consider you such a dear friend, and I just love you to pieces. And I consider you someone that I can always go to with whatever is on my heart. And I know there would be no judgment. You're very supportive, and you will push my ass.
100%. Do it. Do the damn thing. Yeah. What are you waiting for?
Yes, and the same with you. But I like that level of honesty in our friendship
and connection.
Yeah.
We have the same idea of a vision, and we go for it.
Yeah, we're like, a couple things, right? We want to get the fuck out of the United States. We want to make our own money. We want to have fun. We want to travel. So that is like
live life to the fullest.
Exactly.
The most authentic way, deepest way.
Exactly. But one thing I really want to talk about today was the time after spin class on a Saturday. We went over to Coffee Bean Tea Leaf to have some coffee, and it was early in the morning. I think it was like 9 something. Class was at 8.
It was extremely early.
I had to talk to you into going to Saturday spin class. She was like, 8 o'clock? No.
What about that?
I was like, come on, I feel so alone. I need you and Angel to come. And you started coming. You're like, okay, I like this because it's a good way to start the day. Great way.
Push your energy.
Yes, for sure.
Like you're just up and you're just going.
That's right. And you kind of get locked in, and then if you can add going to the beach for a walk afterwards, I think that adds a little something to it. But with the matcha, of course.
I'm joining you on that next one.
Let's 100%. Do it. Let's do it. But we went over to Coffee Bean, and it was the 3 of us at first, and then Angel left, and it got deep real quick. And I was telling you, like, we started talking about dating and all the things, and I was like, my friend Devin told me that my friend Devin does sound bowls, right? So my friend Devin told me that we were talking about dating, and I was like, I don't know what the problem is. I get in all the trashy guys, and she was like, you need to do a yoni cleanse because you have bad dick energy. And I was like, what? I was like, I never thought about this. And so I was telling you that. I was like, Devin said I got bad dick energy and I need to cleanse. And then you said,
you need to cut those cords is what you need to do.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, y'all bringing stuff to me that I never heard of. So explain to everybody what cutting cord is.
I mean, first of all, I was like, bad dick energy, and those dicks are still tight to you. So, unfortunately, they aren't. And I just remember that you said to me, Cesar, I let them go. I want nothing to do with those men. I was like, they still want you. And they want something to do with you, whether it be in or out the sheets, they want something to do with you when they're tied to you. So cord cutting is the act of releasing and letting go of things, people, feelings, and emotions that no longer serve you or that are pulling you down and that are literally chaining you to the ground. And what I told you is you need to cut those and let them loose because they're holding you in position. They're not letting you find where you need to go, what you need to do. And it's so draining because they're still feeding off of you through that cord.
And that was, you sent me down a rabbit hole after that. So first of all, I was like, well, when can we do this? Like, I'm going to Italy and I need to cut this cord now. I was like, because my person might be in Italy, but I went home and I went down the rabbit hole. I was like, cutting cords. And then I started doing like meditations for cutting cords. Because not just these men that may be still attached to me, but also like jobs, emotions, traumas. There's a lot of things that I needed to cut the cord on. And I did not realize that.
I think one of my favorite things was like once we got down to the nitty gritty. I mean, aside from the guys, the empathic energy and all that, it was cutting the cord to your old self and your old path. That part was
Talk to us about that. Cutting the cord to your old self. That's deep.
Yeah.
Y'all got to pay attention to this now.
So deep. Well, I remember. I mean, you did go down the rabbit hole because the next time I saw you on Tuesday, you were like, "I read this. How does that work?" And we set up a date and we went out and had some practice with it. But in that, you said something to me along the lines of, I just don't like that. I do this or I do that, and I'm trying to work through it. And you brought up a lot of things that you're very self-aware. You're like, I want to shed these things, and I was like, cut those cords. You're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, yeah, just if you feel like you're too you attach easily, cut that cord. If you feel like you're tethered to the old Rhonda at the old job, cut that cord.
Yeah.
I remember you just, what? I can do that? Like, yeah, and that's what we did, and it was intense. It was beautiful.
Yeah, we set our date we did a cord cutting ceremony.
Yeah.
And we went down to the beach. It was a crisp day, but it was a beautiful day. And we sat there and we had like the deepest conversation. Like, you started asking me questions about what about this person you want to let go. It was just like, oh my God, I got to think a lot right now. But you were like really pulling it out of me in order for the ceremony to be successful. It made me go deep into my thought treasure chest. And I was like, not only is just like guys, but like I said, the job. But one of the things that I realized at this previous job is I was still holding a lot of anger for them letting me go. I felt like some Karens, like I felt like they were on some bullshit.
Yeah.
But I was still holding it. I was constantly like replaying in my mind. So those two feelings for the guys and who they may be and who I'm done with them, but I know who they are, that I needed to cut that cord. But also I knew that I needed to let go of that job. And the feelings of resentment and anger and just like, I just wanted to beat them up. Right. That kind of energy, I knew that I knew I had to release all that. So talk to us a little bit about the ceremony. Walk everybody through, because you had a whole thing. You had a little bag. You had like cords. You had bracelets. I was like, this is about to be serious.
I showed up and I have a bag.
Yes.
Goodies in the bag and we're doing all this stuff. I mean, but just to bounce off what you said when we were talking, it's so beautiful, the exchange of energy though.
Yeah.
I mean, I asked you some serious questions and you were very honest, and it's not easy to be honest because you're being honest with yourself, with me, with the energy, and we just shared a lot of experiences at that moment because the same way I was pulling from you, it was kind of I was pouring into your bucket, but also taking some back. And I think our water was leveled at the end of the day. Ooh. But it was beautiful. I mean, once we got past understanding what we were looking for, we went to the beach and we sat there and we really, I think, just I want to say meditated. And for me, meditation isn't always, it's sometimes just being with people or doing things that you enjoy that puts you in position for that. I really think we meditated on what we wanted, what we were thinking about, where we were going in life. And that's when it just happened. And I said, okay, so now visualize all of that. and I'm going to give you a piece of cord. And I don't know how you did it, but I said, we're going to tie one piece of the cord on one finger and the piece of the cord on the other, representing you and this person or these things that you're trying to let go of. In one way, somehow, get this pair of scissors and cut it. And I remember thinking, oh, you're crazy. How am I going to cut this cord? But I just was like, trust the process, trust the feeling. And you did. And you stared at that ribbon. It was a red ribbon. I won't forget. And you stared at it. And I just saw it in your face like,
I was meditating hard and really thinking about all the feelings, the people that I really needed to let go. And what I needed to let go with myself, carrying that negativity and allowing it to fester. I knew it was something that I just wanted to get rid of. Because if you think about it, when you spend that much time thinking about negative stuff, there's time you could be doing other things that you enjoy, making that million, that or just, reading a book or just sitting with yourself and loving on yourself. So in a way, I felt like I was in a form of self-hate by being negative all the time. And that was really going through my mind heavy during that moment. Because I remember I sat there and stared for a while.
Yeah, I think you were thinking of that, the self-deprecation.
Yes.
It holds you back. I mean, sometimes, people forget we can pick up the phone, make a call, or videotape ourselves and be like, hey, Rhonda, good to see you, you know?
Yeah.
And in that moment, sometimes when we don't do that, it's because we're frustrated on everything else and we're so focused on crap instead of trying to enhance our life. And I think I saw you really hone in on that because you were very serious about, I hate feeling this way.
Yeah.
I don't like getting home and thinking I'm mad at this person or upset with this person. And that's your face said it all. You were really like, I need to let that shit go. Yeah. And it was so beautiful. And I saw the moment that I was like, okay, you got it. And you were just like, it took a lot in you, but to be like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw you look at that other thing. You had that face of, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to let it be. You cut your cord. And we're like, all right, now we're just going to throw that out.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I told you everything that you were thinking for yourself that you were releasing, write that shit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gave me homework.
I did. I said, here's a paper, here's a pen. Tell the future Rhonda what you want her to achieve out of this. The cord she cut today and what she's going to do. And you did. You wrote a lot of things where you're like, I'm no longer going to.
Yeah.
And I'm going to achieve this. And we folded it up and let it go in the wind.
Yep, we sure did. Yeah. And then you gave me the bracelet and you were like, when it falls off, that means everything is set
into motion. I remember it was a little amethyst bracelet, a little bead, and I said, take it to Italy. If it falls out there, just let it be. Don't pick it up. And just
let it go. Don't look for it.
No, don't try to put it back on. Let it go. Yeah, and then that's when everything. Yeah. And I remember, I think it lasted you a while.
It did. It did. It did. And I was like, I remember I texted you. I was like, I lost my bracelet.
Yeah.
And you were like, where? I'm like, I don't know.
Good.
Exactly.
I was like, it did the work. You did the work. It did the work. Yeah.
Well, so fast forward now, it's been a few months, right? Because this was like April, a lot of months, like 8 months. I have not really dated. I've been my discernment level is so high right now. I look for green and red flags, whereas before I look for red flags. Now I look for green and red flags. But I still haven't found my person. But whereas before the ceremony, I had like this stress of wanting to find my person. Now I'm just like, I'm not gonna chase. I'm gonna attract.
There you go.
And when it's time, it's gonna happen. But in the interim, I'm gonna go try and make this money. And that's what I'm gonna do. But the other part of it, so when I was in Italy, mind you, I think we did the cord cutting maybe a month before. And I had been unemployed for 8 months. So when I was in Italy, I got that email that had gotten a job that I had interviewed for back in February. And I was like, I'm going home employed.
To a new job.
Yeah. So I think letting go of that bad energy that I was holding from the previous job, I think it was blocking my blessings.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I say, cheesy, but what's for you will come to you.
Yes.
But people have a way of pulling you away from that.
Yeah.
When people are holding you back with those cords, they're really, I mean, the way I see it is really an anchor. It's really pulling you down.
It really is.
Yeah. And I mean, someone once taught me that when we're like people who are honed into our power and what we want in life and we want to manifest good things, we're connected to the main source. So we're like one big beacon of light. And people see that opportunity who are vibrating at lower vibrations because they themselves are under hatred, trauma, and they want other people to feel like they are. And so they tether themselves to you. And so, in an attempt, if I attach myself to Rhonda, then I'm attaching myself to the source, which will elevate me, and then that's thus dragging you down.
And I was dragged down. I was way down.
All these, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I remember you saying it was like a heavy feeling at first of like you just felt heavy and like you were being dragged down.
Yeah.
And I remember what was really funny. I was like, you know what? Just pull it out. Because those cords are attached from your core, your root. Just grab them and just yank them out. And you sure did. And you were like, my stomach feels so light.
I've been feeling light ever since. So I'm not going to lie to you. And then I took a little bit of break from the podcast. But I feel like I have a little bit more focus. I'm more energized. I feel like my purpose feels a little bit more defined, whereas before I was doing things because I felt like I needed to. And then I did the podcast because I was struggling myself and I was looking for an outlet. But now I feel like sharing stories with friends like you, and hopefully family soon, with the rest of the world. I think through shared experiences that we are all able to be honest with ourselves and be like, you know what, I'm kind of dealing with that too, as well as grow as people. So I feel like that's kind of like my lot in life, or my purpose, and what I need to do going forward. I'm gonna be here.
I know that. And I completely agree with you. I mean, I think I told you, I mean, the same way. I mean, one thing when you're tied down by cords and stuff like that is you're tired, you're confused, you don't know where you're going in life because everybody's trying to capture your attention at the same time. And I mean, for me, I was dealing with a lot of past trauma from my dad and my childhood. And then I remember one day I'm just like, cut the cord to the emotion, the memory, and the feeling. That's when I started finding my path. I'll share with you, I used to be really scared to talk to people about things like this. And I was terrified I would never open up to anyone. Like,
really?
Like spiritual.
Angel did tell me that. He was like, I'm so shocked that he's like, y'all are spending time and talking. He's not like that with everyone. I was like, that's because I'm special.
Okay. Very true. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, you know this. I swear by it. I swear that the moment that I cut the cords to the things that were no longer serving me, exactly what you said earlier, my blessings were blocked and my blessings were removed. And that's when I found outlet and was sharing my story. And I found you. And I always say, you're my gift from the universe for doing the work, because we have such a real relationship and it's so hard to find that.
It really is hard to find authentic, honest people and have true, deep conversations. Everyone's so busy trying to be surface level and portray themselves as something that they're really not. I am a flawed human being. I have a lot to work on, and I'm not gonna be shy about it anymore. I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna share a lot of stuff in hopes that everyone else will be like, you know what, I got some shit to unpack. Because there's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
I mean, think about it. When you're a parent, look at my parents. I mean, I think all parents do the best they can. There is no book on how to be a parent.
100%.
So when you raise kids and you got trauma from your childhood, you bringing that into theirs, and it's like a cycle. It keeps repeating itself. So if we can be honest with ourselves and face whatever demons or traumas that we need to wrestle with, and set aside, let go, I think we'll all, just as a race, a human race, I think we would be much better off if we could do that.
I completely agree. I think we would all be more united. I mean,
yes.
It's a story for another day, but I mean, just like you said, generational curses are a thing. It's up to us or like the lower lineage to break those generational curses.
Right.
Just because my mom went through it,
At that part, I don't have to go through what she went through.
Yeah, and it's part of doing the work. Part of, I mean, once you start cord cutting, there's so much more. It's not just that. Our body is so. I have this phrase that I love to say is when one part hurts, the whole body's sick. And that could be your spiritual self. And if your cords are hurting, then so is your psyche, and so is your aura, and so is everything else. And we get tired. And I mean, to your point, that's kind of my life purpose now too. Now that we've done the work, we know what it is. And the reason I share now these things and these stories, I'm like, because you know what? When I was growing up, no one told me you're feeling this way because something's wrong.
Yeah.
And now that I understand that, I want to relay that to the world.
And I think that's because the old school way was like, you just deal with it, and that's the problem. You don't just deal with it. You're supposed to heal, not deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, through all that, I want to go through the healing process. How did you get into this? Like, how did you get into your spiritual journey? I remember also you telling me when your form of meditation is drawing. I think people think meditation is all like, oh, and that may not be your jam. So how did you get into this? Like,
oh man, I'll tell you, for me, I was so frustrated. I mean, just to start with meditation, I was so frustrated. Everyone around me in YouTube was always like, you sit there, you blank, and then you just start meditating. And I just couldn't. I'd be like, I need to get bananas, I need to get apples,
monkey mind, right?
So I'm like, oh, I have a meeting tomorrow at 3. I'm like, why am I worried about tomorrow?
I'm here meditating.
In the moment. I just didn't realize. I mean, everybody's meditation is so different.
Yeah.
It's not about zoning out. It's not about zoning out. It's about reaching source, whatever that means to you, and reaching your internal psyche. And man, like once I figured that out, I would sit there and just draw or listen to my favorite music or kind of dance around a little bit because I'll tell you, like in the past, I'll be here with you, but I'm like, okay, in 3 hours, I have cycle. And
you wouldn't be present.
Exactly. And now, like right now, I feel like this is the only thing I have going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen in 6 hours, tomorrow, or the day after. I'm here now.
I have to be honest with you. I've been in a similar situation, like especially at work. I'd be in meetings. I think about an email that I was supposed to do. Like I would never be present in a meeting or anywhere. I could be at my daughter's recital or something, like think about all the laundry I have to do instead of, and what, those moments, once they're gone, they're gone.
They're lost. Yeah.
So what are you doing? Why you need to be present right in the moment and enjoy that. The past is gone. The future, you don't know. You have to live in the present moment. So you were like, okay, this is how I'm going to meditate. Your spiritual knowledge is like top notch. Like, tell me more. Tell me more.
Thank you. For me, honestly, I've been figuring it out since I was 7.
7.
But I've only recently got a hang of it in the last 4 or 5 years. And it's because
wait, you were that self-aware at 7?
So it was, I mean, not as much as I am today.
Yeah, no, obviously, but at 7, it's just to know that.
That's when I started realizing like something's not right.
Okay.
The way that I'm feeling is not right because I witnessed a lot of like abuse at home and like a lot of different things, or just abuse in the world. The world was a crazy place.
Yeah.
And internalizing those things and understanding, why do I feel this way? This is such an ugly feeling. I don't like this. And while my friends were out playing basketball, I was out there like hitting the YouTube.
Okay.
It was the early days of YouTube.
Okay.
It was a different symbol. But understanding the mental part first, why do we feel this way? What's this feeling? Why did I act this way? Why did I lash out like that? And then once I understood, dude, you're broken. You are broken. And you may only be 7, 8, or 9, and you're broke. And you need to take control and start healing. And I'll tell you, Rhonda, the healing process was ugly. But once I came out on the other side is when I was like, that was all the setup. That was the setup, to figure the spiritual part out.
Okay.
And it was your journey. Because now, I mean, I'm so blessed again. Like, I have you and we talk about things like this. Like, someone gets it and I can hold this conversation. Like, this is my reward.
Yeah.
For all that.
It's not a huge pool of people in my universe that are into this as well. That's one of the things I realized when I went on pause for the podcast. I was thinking about who my audience is, and I thought it's like, oh, it's my friends and family. No, I gotta find my like-minded tribe of people that are really self-aware, right? And looking to heal. And I'm not just talking about your body, but your spiritual selves. Like thinking about your chakras and how they impact you on a daily basis and the source that you're talking about. How do you manifest? Understanding that, there's parallel universes going on in your world, and you can jump to the life you want if you get out of the way. Like, it's just all these types of things. And to be able to have someone like you to have these conversations with, it's so amazing. In fact, last night I went out to dinner with a friend of mine, Jeannie. I had her birthday, and one of Paris is my daughter's friend, went over to Spain to go to college. And I was sitting next to her last night. I was like, "So how is Spain?" She was like, "Oh my God, I just love it. I feel like I'm living my best life," because she was like, "I wasn't always the smartest person, and I always thought, I'm not gonna go to college. I'll probably be community college." And then she decided to go over to Spain. And over in Spain, she was like, "I feel like I belong somewhere." And she was like, "And I've manifested my dream apartments, my dream roommates. I wanted them to be my best friends." I was like, almost in tears at the table. I was like, this 20-year-old young lady has figured it out at 20. If I could go back 30 something years and could have had that level of just spiritual awareness and self awareness, my trajectory in life would probably be like a 180.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that so much. I mean, even in the present day, when you get out of your own way, things don't impact you as much.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
And you can see clear.
yes, you understand that.
Yeah. That part. Yeah.
You understand, like, why is this happening? Where am I going? What am I doing?
And procrastinate as much. That's like for me. Because I was like huge procrastinator on everything because I realized how miserable I was, and I was procrastinating on a lot of things like writing the ebook on self-care. Even this podcast, I'd be like, "Oh man, I got to do another one. What am I talking about?" Now I'm like, "Okay, let's go."
Yeah.
I have to, I'll listen to something. I'm like, that's a topic. I need to talk about that.
I love that.
Yeah.
It'll come to you.
Mm-hmm.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I mean, if the youngsters can do it, I mean, but it all, it takes someone willing to hone in on themselves and go inside.
You have to acknowledge, like, you need to heal, right? And there's something that you need to work on. And was like with you're an alcoholic, that's when you can come around the other side. If you can admit that you're spiritually broken, like you mentioned, you can come around on the other side.
Yeah. You can totally figure it out. I mean, I was just having that conversation the other day, and someone asked me, "Do you think you'll ever stop fully drinking alcohol?" I mean, not that I'm like overdo it, but
yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I will, and I can once I am fully satisfied. They were like, "Well, what does that look like for you?" And I was like, "I am satisfied with I'm doing something in my life that makes me happy. I'm not chasing a paycheck. I mean, money's good, but chasing more. The money comes when you're chasing your passion. Um, being able to be my most authentic self and being able to do what I wanted, what I seek every day, and that to me will bring full satisfaction, and then I can leave the life."
Okay.
Because that right now is a distraction. So I agree with you. Once you hone in, you heal, you can break so many habits or vices that you have.
Agree. Well, this has been awesome. You are amazing. So tell everybody about you, how to find you, talk about what you do, because you do some stuff.
Man, I'm coming up. I'm trying to do a lot of things now, but by trade, I'm a real estate agent. I say I love to find people their first, their second, and their forever home. So you can find me at Your Realtor Cesar on Instagram for that.
Okay.
I am actually also working on an ebook series, very short, very quick series about cutting cords, but everything else. I mean, I think we talk so much about healing your body, and that looks so many different ways.
Right.
And so I want to write a series of how to fix your body, how to help your body heal, different variations of spiritual stuff. So that's coming soon.
All right, we're gonna make sure that we drop that on the website. We'll have to have you come back and talk about it.
And then lastly, I've started to also implement in my life where I'm taking appointments or helping people with a spiritual consultation.
Okay.
I know.
How do people get in touch with you for that?
Right now, my handle is CX Reynoso, CXREYNOSO. And until I flourish a little bit more, but for now, that's the handle. And what my goal is, I mean, kind of what we said, someone would have told me when I was 15, you're feeling this because of this, or let me help you unpack that. I would have been so blessed and probably would have gotten here a little sooner. But my journey, and so now I'm ready to help others with it.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to create a community of Cesar and Rhonda.
We're gonna have to do something together.
Yes.
I love that. And I love you to pieces. Thank you so much.
Universe sister.
Yes. And we decided we're moving to Italy together.
We sure are.
Yeah. We're getting the heck up out of here.
We can do our spiritual sessions over Zoom.
While we eat some really good pizza. I know, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Love you too. Next time, y'all. Peace.
Up next, Aria speaks.
We're going to talk about Chippy, our crazy elf, on the show.
He does some of the crazy.
Once he used my underwear as a zip line.
And then remember that time he put, he said, I made you breakfast.
In the toilet.
And he put Fruit Loops in the toilet.
I think that was, no, that was, Lucky Charms.
Oh, Lucky Charms? And you were like, in the toilet? Ew, that's gross.
I would not eat that. Because he put it in a plastic bag and we had to throw all of that away.
We sure did. So
that was a total waste. Chippy's good this year because he's going to come to my house definitely this year. Chippy, I'll send you a location, okay? Make sure Santa gives it to you.
So, what if Chippy does something bad again? What are you gonna do? What do you think?
I'll bury him under the ground.
That's cold.
I'll bury him with snow under the ground. He will be freezing.
Freezing?
He'll lose all his magic. But Santa got the most magic. He don't lose magic of anything.
So you're ready for Chippy to show up because he's probably on his way.
You remember last year he froze my doll?
Oh yeah.
My doll froze. Wait, was it my? I think my doll froze.
Your Barbie
Chippy?
Doll. It was your Barbie doll, right?
Chippy.
Oh, Chippy was in some ice.
Right? Yes, I had a solution.
That was hilarious. He's done some pretty outlandish, crazy things.
Yes.
But it's fun, right?
Yes, it's funny. Even once he drawed on my face. He put it like a I think he put it like a Sharpie. He drew with Sharpie. I was so mad. I was like, who drew this? And I was like, Chippy, was this you?
Yeah.
And then he was hiding on the roof. He was hiding on top right here. And I had to pull him down with a broom. And I was like, bad Chippy. Bad Chippy.
Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Cesar. He is one of my absolute favorite spiritual human beings. I enjoy sharing space with him. He always reminds me that I come first. He always reminds me that it's okay to wrestle with your traumas and to heal. And I hope that you got something out of this conversation. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and if you enjoyed today's episode, share this podcast with someone who might need a reminder that putting yourself first is essential. Until next time, my fabulous friends, keep holding your purse tight. It holds your essence, your truth, and your joy. Take care of you first. Peace.